Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the topic of that what to do if you are finding yourself stuck in any specific area of life. This could be connected with marriage, relationship. This could be the persistent problem connected with your career growth, credit, loan related issue. So how can we connect it, or how can we figure it out through astrology? That is what we will try to do and discuss in this video. Because guys, lately I'm seeing this trend, like people who are like in their mid 50s, late 40s, they are not able to find someone, and they are still living with that hope. Now if you come across these kind of chart, okay, now what you can do, you will look at the transit of the Jupiter, that it is going to be influencing the 7th house. You will be giving attention to the 7th lord, like is 7th lord making some combination in the transit and all. But imagine if you're already in your early 50s or late 40s, how many times that planet would have come in the activation in the dasha system. So that means there is something unusual which will demand putting extra efforts. And guys, this is one such area over where especially like traditional astrologers in India have got a bad reputation, though it is in the mind of the people, but I have a proper justification for that. Like the way, guys, for example, if you have a problem or a concern of a slight cut, so you slight cut or slight scratch or wound, you can just put any antiseptic and get it fixed with it. But if you are suffering with a tumor or a cancer or a brain tumor or something, that means you need to get the best treatment, which might be expensive as well. Same is the case with dealing with the energy of the planets as well, because it has been a trend which I'm seeing lately. And just because see guys, I do not operate my business in a way that I have like proper like production team for editing of my work, or proper priest and pandit who are doing ritual, proper gemstone provision to sell from my website and from my business. I'm not doing that. But those who are doing it, and if they are recommending it to someone, and if you are doubting them, judging them, that is wrong, because based on an individual's problem, the efforts have to be extra. And guys, in this discussion I will try to give reference to some of my real life encounters as well. Now please do not get this impression that, oh my god Nipun, you are so full of yourself all the time giving your example, because I have lived that. I have practical experience over there, so I can tell you with a place of relatability over there. So that is the reason, guys, in this video we will try to look at it, because even I feel very bad. See, look at it in this way. There are like different kind of categories. There is one person who doesn't want to get married. There is one person who wanted to get married and this person got married. Then there is a third category, which this person is living with this kind of acceptance in the life that whatever universe will bring to me, I'm gonna accept it as my fate, and that person is happy and contented. But the problem comes with the category of people who are all the time hopeful. And what I personally feel is that in this lifetime, living with contentment, fulfillment is the most important thing. Life is a gift, and if you're not doing that and you have that happiness at the next step syndrome, then you're not gonna be happy. It hardly matters whom you're gonna manifest. But yes, if you belong to that category, and it is equally applicable in all these kind of cases. This could be relationship, this could be business. Like even in the business, if your business is struck in a deadlock, in a rut, like for example from the past 10 years, then it is unusual. If someone comes to you that, hey, I've completed my like higher studies and I'm on a lookout for a job. Okay, so how long? 5 years. Now this is unusual. Like, okay, few months we can still understand, but it is, if it has been like this, that means in your chart there is some concern, and which cannot be decoded, which cannot be looked at in a very superficial way. Like the way, the same example which I gave at the beginning of this video, that if you have a slight cut or wound, that requires different kind of examination. But if you have kind of a tumor kind of a problem, that requires altogether different way of looking at the chart. So guys, over here, see, I would always say this thing that you always have to give attention to the Panchang, 5 limbs of the moon. Like if you have a dosha or a affliction in the Panchang, then somehow that becomes very difficult to evade. That is the very first thing. Second thing is that you also have to give attention to the whatsoever you're trying to achieve or attain, the specific house and the house lord and the overall dignity of that planet. That will also become important, because why to go very far? I recently did a reading for someone, and this person, like, he has been a very valuable like a very old client with me. And when he was asking me question about different areas of life, I had the right and relevant answer to give to that person. But when he asked about something connected with marriage and all, like in this case, the 7th lord, like if you are a Cancer Lagna, the 7th lord becomes the planet Saturn. It is there in the 9th house, now conjunct with Ketu. So the 7th lord, Saturn, being a karmic planet, being conjunct with the planet of separation, which is Ketu. And even if you will check the same chart from the moon sign, so if the ascendant lord for a Cancer Lagna, moon being in the 2nd house, so that means the chart from the moon is creating more vulnerability. It's like from the moon, the 7th lord now is placed in the 8th house and conjunct with Ketu. And when I looked at the A7 pada and all, so that means if you have these kind of nature of concern, what do you expect from an astrologer to say? And does that mean that there is no solution for that? There is a solution, but the solution is going to be filled with additional and extra efforts. Like the way, for example, guys, I am a very big advocate of this. When we talk about the remedies, we will talk about that, because the ultimate objective of this video is to talk about remedies. What is the solution? So over there, what I personally feel is that if you are like we have this way in Hinduism and all, that we connect a specific god or deity with the energy of a planet. Like for example, people who are like, they want to do any remedy connected to the moon, they want to worship Lord Shiva. People who want to do any remedy connected with the planet Mars, they prefer to connect with the Lord Hanuman or like Lord Kartikeya and all. But what I personally feel is that recitation of the Beej Mantras of the planet in specific count tend to remain very potent in order to manifest results. And along with that, guys, like even in the in Brihatura Shastra and majority of the classic books and all, over there has been mentioned the specific count as well, specific count of the planets, that okay, this Beej mantra, like for example for Venus, it is like Om Ram Dream Drom Saha Shukray Namah. So if this is the Beej mantra of the Venus, there is a specific count in which you need to do that. Now generally what happens is that in our busy lifestyle, and like certain people, either your job is demanding, or this could be a case that your lifestyle is like that. For example, you eat, you drink, that is a kind of a lifestyle which you live, then it will become difficult for you. Then in that case, guys, again, I do not know if you're living in like US, like I get readings from all over the world and all, but even in India, like they are like those priests and those Pandits and all, we call them. So they're gonna do that. And guys, you would not believe how many times I have got these kind of Anushthan. I will talk about in which category and condition Anushthan becomes important. So that actually give results, because then there is going to be like they are like specific Anushthan where the Pandit is gonna advise you that okay, we have to do the mantras in this much count. So that means one person cannot do that. So 4 Pandits are gonna come to your place, and then we will do this much of the count of the mantras divided amongst us each day, and every day after the chanting of the mantras, then we're gonna do the Anushthan like Shiv Rudra Abhishek or any of the important part and all. So then this is how you have to put the energy and all. When people talk about the gemstones, like there have been those skeptics who say that gemstone does not work, but trust me, gemstones also work. Again, it all comes down to what is the intensity of the yoga and the problem which you are facing. Because if you have a big issue, and like the way I gave this example, if you have been single and you are like already 51, 52, you have never been married, or if you have been out of the job for like 10 years, so that means there is some major problem, major issue. And if you watch all the transit videos and you even observe your own like dasha as well, and you're just awaiting that, okay, this Antardasha is gonna come, this Mahadasha is gonna come, it is gonna activate. Important is that your planet is still in that dormant stage. That same cycle of that planet would have come so many times if you are already of that age. So that's what I'm trying to say over here. So guys, in certain cases, like I even why to go far? I will give you this very basic example. When I was in Delhi, when I recently last year when I went for that vacation, so I somehow took this vow that, okay, I'm gonna do the 125,000 times Beej Mantra chanting of the Venus. And the day when it was like, I will not tell the wish for which I kept it, but when it got completed, after that, even at the last time, like when I was also enrolled for a few courses, healing courses at Bharti Vidya Bhavan. So there's a girl, I was like, we used to be in the same class. So I was just talking to her. I said that, okay, I have to come from, I live nearby from Delhi, like from Noida. I need to come all the way to Lakshmi Narayana Mandir, Goddess Lakshmi and the Vishnu Narayana Mandir in Connaught Place area, and I do not know the right path and all. So she said, okay, I'll go with you. So she went with me somehow, and I never told her and this and that. She wore the white color that day, and after that, when we went for just for lunch and all, I looked at her chart. She has like Libra rising and ascendant Lord Venus being in the 8,000 Taurus, pure Venus quality, moon in the Venus nakshatra, everything. So I mean to say, okay, I'm gonna stop the story there, but what I'm trying to say, that mantras tend to remain very powerful. I recently did this for I told you this example, right? I did this 100 Hanuman Chalisa. I kept this pledge and vow for doing that for 10 days. And second day only, right on a Tuesday, that's a different case. I'm also right now in the Mars Antardasha as well. I had the keys for my new apartment in my hand, and I do not know how it happens. So what I'm trying to say, guys, in this video is that if you are struggling or finding yourself stuck in certain specific area of your life, and you are just like all the time waiting for next dasha, next transit, you're just living in kind of a denial mode because your chart is not giving result. And guys, that is the only reason when I do consultation, I always try to understand the pattern that, okay, if your major concern is of the marriage or relationship, so what has been the pattern in the past? Because planets somehow work completely aligned with a specific vibration by which it is placed in your chart, and that is the only reason why people get betrayed in a similar fashion in relationship, why people get betrayed in a similar fashion in every time they get into business partnership and all. There is a theme which goes on there, but in your case, if nothing is happening, then it means there is some issue over there. So if I were to say, guys, over here, I don't care what others say, but if you have this kind of situation, either you take the onus that you're gonna do it on your own, and I can assure you it gave results. It's definitely gonna give results. You know, a lot of the things which I have actually got in my life, I still remember when I was like after even completing my MBA, I was very impatient to work in an ad agency and all, and that time I wanted to work with Ogilvy and Mather, like it's one of the very prominent agency and all. So I did not have any connection. I was not even able to secure an internship and all. And the way it happened is like, we organized like Mahamrityunjay mantra part, where like 4 pandits, they used to come to our place. And after the recitation and everything, the whole family, like me, my mother, sister, dad and all, we all used to just eat once a day. Those were the instructions which we received from our Panditji and all. And we used to just do that once a day. And after, like, they distributed in 5 days or 7 days. And after that, there used to be Rudrabhishek. And you don't believe, after the completion of that whole ritual and all, how surprisingly, I do not know how magic happened or what happened. Somehow I'm not in touch with a friend of mine from school time. Somehow I met him, I went there for some work, I ran into him, and he just asked me. I said, hey, I'm just looking for a job, internship and all. It's like, hey, I did an internship at Ogilvy and Mather. My boss, who used to be my account executive that time, now he's become an account director. I will just connect you with that person. And I was in the job in just few days. So what I'm trying to say is that, guys, people have this notion, especially in India, that people have given this reputation, bad rep to astrologer, that oh, they are gonna recommend you remedies, they're gonna recommend you expensive remedies. You have to do that. Again, the same example of tumor or a small band-aid. If you have that thing and if it is not reaping result, again guys, look at it in this way. If you book a consultation with me where you have 2-3 options and you are finding yourself stuck, astrologer's job is to give the guidance. It's like to maximize the good times and to advise you to suffer in a minimum way in a hard dashas. And there are like alternative substitute remedies to deal with the energy. Sometimes guys, what happens is that, see, especially when we are under the grip of the malefic planets, and planet is hard bent on honoring in energy in a way of harming you. So it can be dealt in many ways. This could be through your time, which could be a case that you don't take any treatment, you don't do any remedy, you keep on suffering. Whatever is there in the destiny as a form of a prarabdha, you have to go through that, keep on suffering. So one is time. Second could be the much of the pain. It's like if it is a pain of a lawsuit, take the money, hire a good lawyer, pay him that money. Or if it's about any medical treatment, take the money from like your saving and something, give it to a good doctor, get the treatment. It's like the same cycle which is extracting money out of you right now. When the right dasham will come, it will also bring money to you, but the energy needs to be honored. Like the way guys, I'll tell you, when I went back to India for this vacation, oh my god, it was very productive vacation. I did so many things. So that time I had this thing in my mind that okay, when I was in Vancouver, I did a film course, I acted in a movie as well, I attended so many workshops and all. So I'm gonna try my luck in Mumbai, no matter what the outcome is gonna be, but I don't want to regret later on that I did not give my best. So it was a clear-cut case of scam. And when it happened, I was like surprised. I'm educated, I'm like a typical Delhi grown guy, lived independently in Canada. I did the film school, I know the whole production house, how to deal with production, how everything happens. Amateur, it's like not being scammed by pros. I was even scammed by amateurs. And it's like, and the good thing to note over there is that all those, the scam calls when it used to come to me and I used to transfer them money like 150,000, like 1.5 lakh, like 150,000 rupees, I mean to say in INR. Then I almost gave like 4 lakh rupees in Indian currency and all in 2-3 occasions and all. But I was just paying attention. The very first time when the call came, it was the Kal Bhairav Jayanti. I came back from one of the temple of Kal Bhairava in Prakriti Maidan race course. I did the fasting that day. I did all the donation and I was so excited. Right at that day, call came from Mumbai. It's like, oh my God, the miracle. So it happened. The second time when I transferred the money, it was like I was at my sister's place and they have organized this Lord Hanumanji's Sundarkand part. And I was there. And then later on I was wondering that every time the scam call happened and the money went from my hand, it's like something is taking out from me. I'm not that naive, I'm not that stupid. But now I'm wondering what was the power which was taking it from me. But every time I was doing something religious when that money was going out from my hand. Later on I realized that okay, it was something which needed to be honored. Had I not honored it, I was even willing and ready to even settle down in Mumbai when I went back to India and be there for like a year or 2 years and struggle. So the thing is that the pain which was there, because I'm also right now, I just came few months back only, I'm also in the deepest of the Sade Sati as well. That time I was in the second phase of Sade Sati and Saturn Mahadesha moon and Rahu in the 12th house. I was in a typical case of being scammed and expenses and pain and all. But my pain was easily substituted by money was withdrawn from my account and boom. After that, I did not suffer any of the pain of humiliation. I did not wasted my time that I stayed there for 2 years, got betrayed, rejected, wasted my time. So I did not lose out on my time, but I did have to endure the loss of the money. That's how it works. A lot of the remedies, guys, in Vedic astrology works like this only. For example, the example which I gave of 7th Lord being conjunct with Ketu or something. So then in those kind of situation, in our Vedic ritual, we say that, okay, the marriage needs to be done with a tree or with a pot. with a pot, so that it's like you honored, and after that marriage, the ghada kind of thing, then you break it. So it means you honored one separation yoga or the breakage yoga in the marriage through getting the person first married to a tree or married to a pot. So that's how the astrology works. But again guys, what I'm trying to say over here is that if you can relate with me in this situation, you find yourself stuck in any situation, then remedies are something either you have to do it by yourself, and I have already shown you the power with which the Beej mantra, chanting of the Beej mantra manifest results. Like after coming back from your work, if you have time, how much you have to do? It's like, I guess if I do one Beej mala, one mala of Beej mantra of planet Saturn, one mala hardly takes 2 or 3 minutes. So dedicate that, okay, I need to finish this mantra in this many thousand of the counts in this many days, and after coming back from work, or this could be early in the morning, if you can take out that time with proper rituals and all, which you can find out, and every day, like making a count that, okay, I need to do 10 malas, 10 beats mala every single day, and I will do the completion ritual. Once I will meet that count, I will go and visit the temple of this god or this god who's connected with that planet. Then you can actually manifest results. So guys, now I will talk about especially couple of things over here. Like if you are finding you're not able to find the answer, you are struggling over there, different options. So the very first thing is that what I personally feel is that, especially in your case, if the house related matters which is not giving you result for a long span of time, and if that lord of that house is combust, then in that case Beej mantra chanting is inevitable. It is very, very important, guys. People say, if you were to ask me, in certain cases debilitated planet can still give you result, but if a planet is combust, that means that planet is very far from the earth, that planet does not have any rays or vibration to impact you. And then guys, there's like different categories and layers to judge a planet. Like if a planet is combust, if a planet is also like of very, very low degree, then also that planet is like very tender, it's like a toddler, and it does not have the power to generate result. And if you're not doing it on your own, and all what you do is that you just wait for the dasha to come, you just wait for the transit to happen. No guys, you have to do results. And if you cannot do the mantra chanting in a proper prescribed way because of your lifestyle, because of your work commitment, then hire a proper guy who can do that. And there are those like professional pundits and all. Now again guys, over here trust becomes very important because I was like watching in one of the podcasts where this lady mentioned this thing. I hired a pandit, that priest, in order to do that, and I was just suspicious. I was not getting that assurance that he is saying that every day he's doing those mantras and chanting for me, but whether he is doing it or not. So she sneaked into his room. He used to share with other priests and all, and the other guy told her that, okay, he has just written that mantra in a fan, and he is like trying to scheme and trick the planets that the many times the fan is gonna round, that many chanting mantra happened. So yeah, so all what matters is that where you have the trust. Like for example guys, I come from a family of priests and all, so it's like because again I come from a background over where the child psychologist and school psychologist was never a scene, never a concern and all from that period and that era. So that used to be the case that if I'm like rebelling at home, I'm having and giving any issues to my parents and all, the very first thing my mom used to say, okay, take him to an astrologer or get his chanting to pacify the malefic planets, and it always give results. That's what I'm trying to say. So yes guys, the very first category is that if the house related matter regarding which you are not able to find or generate the results for a long span of time, and that planet is combust, so chanting becomes very important, especially the Beej mantra connected with that planet in specific count will give you result. If you're not doing that, you can keep on waiting, planet will keep on moving, going to houses, dasha will come, it will go, and you'll still be rubbing your hands and nothing will come to you. So for the combust, it becomes very, very important. And yes, guys, if you are making money, I remember I watched in one of the concert where Rihanna performed, and at that time the Myanmar government and all, it got into lot many issues and all, lot many activists protested that. They say that she is wearing a pigeon red blood eye ruby, which is considered as the best quality of the ruby, and says it's worth millions, and it is connected with sun, it is very important. So they had the issue, the activists and all, that okay, all that money is gonna be funding the military who is causing harm to the common man, civilians and all. So but I'm trying to say that those are rich people, they can afford it, and that is the only reason rich are becoming richer. So I mean to say, guys, if you financially can afford it, you are in a good job and all, so spending money, and if you cannot spare time by yourself, you have to do that. And if you feel, and again guys, look at it in this way, if you have that skepticism in you that oh, astrologers are cheaters, this is a cheater, that is a cheater, you are giving that energy in the universe, your destiny will only take you, your planets and your time will only take you to the cheater. See guys, look at it in this way. I still remember when I used to go to an astrologer, like way back when in my early 20s and all, when I was struggling and all the Rahu dancing over my head. Before going to any astrologer, like if I get to know about, hey, this astrologer is good, he can give the right guidance, or because that time, even I was in that mindset, been there, done that, my time is gonna be changed by an astrologer. We are deluded by that. Astrologer is just gonna do the guidance. And every time before leaving, I used to pray to Lord Shiva that okay, Shiva, it's like your voice only, your verdict only, your guidance only. I'm going there to hear from someone. So please, whatever your wish is, make me reach the right person through which I can hear that. So if you have skepticism in you, you will only manifest that. So positivity is very important. So yes, that is the first thing which I wanted to say for the combust planets. Now guys, comes the Saturn and Ketu. See, Saturn and Ketu are a sensitive case, because over there they are not gonna agree to any of the remedy unless and until either Saturn is gonna delay and Ketu is gonna cut thing in some way. So over there I would say substitute remedies works, ritual works, and being patient works. So I would say that obviously if you're doing like any good deeds, you're doing any donation, you're doing any chanting, it always help. But you can make peace with a combust planet. But Saturn and especially Ketu, if Ketu has got involved and it is sitting in a house and the matters of that house looks like to be beyond your control. Now guys, people have this wrong notion when we talk about Ketu being in the 7th house. For example, a lot many people will say this thing. See, Ketu is also responsible for making your ancestry and your lineage move forward. So it's not like that Ketu is gonna completely deny. It's just like that if it is there in certain combination, then it becomes sensitive. So yes, for the Saturn and Ketu, some sort of remedy becomes important. Blessing plays a very important role, like the way we say Kripa. Kripa is the big thing. Like there are like certain issues created by Ketu which can only be dealt with. And again guys, especially with Saturn, Ketu, Jupiter over there, some guide or guru, and especially a guru like who is elevated, enlightened kind of stature of the person becomes very important. The Kripa, there is a word in Hindi. See again, there are like certain words in Hindi which cannot be exactly translated in English because they will not do justice to that. So for example, okay, blessing is Kripa, but Kripa is much more deeper and I'm not able to elaborate it. But yes, so for Jupiter, for Ketu and for Saturn, Kripa plays a very important role. Acceptance, alternatives, substitute remedies becomes important, and yes, ritual will also become very important. Dev Darshan, with this wish in your mind that God, I'm gonna do a pilgrimage to this place, I'm gonna do a pilgrimage to the Char Dham in like Uttarakhand, I'm gonna do that. all of that creates a difference. Guys, when we talk about the debilitated planet, now okay, I beg to differ over here. I have not seen a debilitated planet to completely deny it. Like the way I mentioned, combust planet, if you will not put any efforts, any energy through the chanting, and again guys, over there chanting and all, it's not gonna create any difference. For Saturn Ketu related problem, substitute remedy and all, ritual, pilgrimages, blessing and all, that also become very important. And for the debilitated planet, I would say that like for example, gemstones can still be considered. Like the way guys, for example, you take up the case of the Venus in a rising sign. So let's say for example, for a Libra Lagna, if the concern is of marriage, if your 7th lord is gonna be debilitated in the 10th house, Mars in the 10th house, even if it is debilitated, it is considered as strong, it is considered as good for the career. For a Taurus Lagna, if the 7th lord Mars is placed in the 3rd house, now it is debilitated, but Mars is the significator of the 3rd house. Like the 3rd house is the house of courage and valor, and from the 7th house it has gone 9 places ahead of it. So I mean to say there are like lot many ifs and buts, but what I have found in my research is that I have not seen much of the problem created by debilitated planet, especially in the cases if you are writing an email to me that you are already in the mid 40s or mid 50s and the marriage has never happened, or career has never picked up, or credit loan problem never leaves you, then that means there is a concern which needs to be dealt with a proper solid remedy. And guys, I do not know why you have to give higher consultation fee which you cannot afford. I do not understand. The much fees which I charge, I cannot afford giving that to anyone. So I know my limits. The thing is, if my planets are gonna give me right guidance, it will in any case come to me. But yes, for the ritual, never hesitate, because if a priest is doing the japa for you the whole day, and it's an honest, knowledgeable, scholarly person, that is important. That is what is gonna create a difference. So rather than, okay, that's my personal opinion, rather than paying an expensive fees to an astrologer, especially when I say expensive, that means it is beyond your capacity. It is beyond and higher than your capacity. First of all, you should never go to an astrologer and pay a fees which you cannot afford. As an astrologer is not gonna change your fate, it's only gonna give you guidance. But yeah, gemstone, you can stretch your limit in terms of gemstone, because a good gemstone will create a difference. It will add energy and power to your gemstone. Or like for a proper ritual someone is gonna do for you, and again guys, if that priest is honest and he did his job in a authentic, credible way, results come. I can assure you. My whole life is a testimony of that. I will not say about my prediction and my assessment, but about the power of the mantra. My whole life is a testimony of that. The result comes. So and yes guys, if I were to say, if there is a issue in the panchang, like you're born with the, for example, you're born in the new moon, you're born in the Krishna Paksh Chaturdashi, like the moon was waning and the 14th day of it, then there's a high possibility that it's like you're gonna have issues with your in-laws, or you will not get that much respect in the family and all. So, and if it is forming some sort of combination in the panchang, like Venashik Nakshatra and the Tithi, Yog, everything is making a combination, then the problem is in the DNA. Then we say that, in Hinduism, we say that visiting and getting the blessings of your ancestors, visiting your Kul Devata village and all, from where your ancestors have come. So that is how guys you can attach astrology. So what I'm trying to say is that astrology has got all the answers, but it need to be dealt with proper logic, acceptance, and there are certain cases. It is all case dependent. There are those situations over where if your budget allows, if your problem is big and you do not have any clarity and it is being persistently remaining a dilemma, enigma for you, then you have to do the additional you have to put additional weight of the remedy and all, which we discussed throughout in this video. So yes guys, I did not have anything planned over here. I was just like having a discussion with my friends and all, and we were just sharing each of ours like client consultation experiences and all. I was also worried and all, so that's the reason I thought, okay, let me share that idea, toss that idea with my audience as well. So yes guys, I do not even how to label it or what to put in a thumbnail. It was just a regular conversation. So yes guys, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.